Hey, it's your guy Tyrrell back with the interviews. In today's video, we're going to briefly analyze the current tactical area of weakness in Arsenal's backline that opposing teams are aiming to expose. So in today's video, we're going to focus on Arsenal's pressing and defensive shape as a whole, and then shift to how it's affecting Zinchenko and the space in behind him. So when we break it all down and we do look at the board, first we have to focus on Arsenal's pressing, and in terms of how they're looking to disrupt sides from building out of the back, nothing's really changed on a significant level. Against Chelsea, they did a very good job of ensuring that Chalobah looked to push forward because you had Gabriel Jesus allowing him to get on the ball and simply looking to press Mendy and Thiago Silva and block off the passing lane in towards Chalobah when they received possession. Arsenal were more of a 4-1-4-1 on that day, and they had Martinelli and Saka pressing the fullbacks, and then in that midfield zone they were able to go 3v3. They had Thomas Partey dealing with Havertz, and then you had Odegaard and Xhaka pushing forward to close down the Chelsea shuttlers. However, the issue that Arsenal encountered against Chelsea's build-up was when they shifted into a temporary back three with Mendy stepping in between the two center backs. When Mendy got on the ball, that did force Gabriel Jesus out towards him, but then that ended up seeing Martinelli pushing out towards Chalobah, and that resulted in Zinchenko having to push higher up the pitch to cover for Martinelli, and then he would be looking to close down Azpilicueta. From there, that's when you'd see Mendy looking to punt balls into that gap of space behind Zinchenko for Sterling to break free, and because Arsenal were switching on the fly, that allowed Sterling time and space to receive the ball in the right channel and then pull out Gabriel. In many of those breaks, it was simply Sterling in 1v1s against Gabriel and then looking to play balls around him for Havertz making underlapping runs off Thomas Partey or Zinchenko, and this was a successful attacking outlet for Chelsea throughout that game, and their only downfall was that when they got into the final third, they simply lacked the execution to punish the Arsenal backline. This was also an issue for Arsenal when they lost possession in the midfield zone, because at times Zinchenko was caught higher up the pitch, and Chelsea were instantly looking to pump balls into the space in behind him to set Sterling free down that zone. To be fair to Zinchenko, this was his first match back from injury, and in that second half, we also witnessed a scenario where Chelsea were able to win possession in the midfield zone, and then they looked to play a long ball over the top of substitute Tierney to break free beyond the Arsenal backline, and once again, it was simply the final ball that let them down and ensured that Arsenal were able to claim all 3 points. Against Wolves, we witnessed more of a traditional press from Arsenal in terms of this season because they did go up against a 3-5-2, and what you ended up seeing was that Martinelli and Saka were helping Gabriel Jesus apply pressure towards the center backs, and then that would encourage Zinchenko and White to push forward to deal with Hugo Bueno and Semedo. In those situations, you have the 3v3 in that midfield zone because Odegaard was pushing out to Ruben Neves, Xhaka was stepping towards Traore, and then Thomas Partey was pushing out towards Moutinho. If the Wolves front two look to drop deeper in towards the midfield zone to create an overload and serve as a passing option, the center backs would follow them. And in this regard, although we did witness a few modifications from Arsenal, they did a very good job of ensuring that Wolves struggled to build at the back. Ultimately, the issue that Arsenal encountered here was that when that first line of press was breached, Zinchenko was caught higher up the pitch closing down Semedo, and then from there Semedo was capable of running off Zinchenko, who was simply ball watching or not reacting to the second phase of the build-up, and from there Semedo was capable of breaking in towards advanced positions in the final third, or simply getting his teammates to break in towards that space as well. So put simply, if they were able to play balls over the Arsenal front three press in towards a shuttler shifting in towards that zone or an attacking player dropping off, from there they were looking for combination plays with Semedo running off Zinchenko, who would be simply caught ball watching or failing to track back, and then rely on Semedo's pace to break in towards the final third and attempt to place teammates in advanced positions or get shots off for himself. Following a throw into Adama Traore, you could see him dragging Gabriel in towards his own half. From there, Zinchenko's dragged towards the ball, and Adama Traore drops it off to Boubacar Traore, and that's where you see Semedo making a run off Zinchenko and Thomas Partey to receive the ball beyond both Arsenal players, and they're taken out of the game. That results in Thomas Partey fouling Semedo, but what ends up happening there is that his run takes 2 players out of the game. Adama Traore runs beyond Gabriel, and from here he should be sliding in his strike partner free on goal, but his final ball is a bit poor and Saliba's able to come across to halt the attack. Outside of that, it was clear that if Zinchenko lost possession higher up the pitch, there was enough space for Wolves to attack in transition, and we did witness a scenario where they were able to get themselves in towards the final third, but failed to test the goalkeeper. And there was also the odd scenario where Wolves looked to play balls over the top of Zinchenko from open play to attempt attempt to get Semedo in behind him, but that wasn't successful. And it was a bit odd that it took them towards the final stages of that game to put a direct wide player towards Zinchenko to run towards him. And it was in that rare scenario where Adama Traore was able to run at Zinchenko that allowed him to break beyond the Arsenal backline. But once again, Wolves simply lacked the final touch and execution in and towards the Arsenal penalty area. Here you witness Saliba looking to slide the ball into Zinchenko, shifting into the midfield zone, and that drags Podence towards him, who applies pressure, and Zinchenko doesn't anticipate it, and that results in Podence stepping in to win possession from this area, and that allows Adama Traore to receive the ball. When he does receive the ball, it looks like it could be a 2v1, but Gabriel is positioned to provide cover, and as we watch that play develop, Podence makes the overlapping run, Adama Traore skips past Zinchenko easily, and now you see the 2v1 being formed near the penalty area. Adama Traore slides the ball across Gabriel into the path of Podence, and from this position it allows him to get the ball on towards his right foot, and he fires an effort on goal that Ramsdale pushes away for a corner. So as you can see, while Zinchenko has provided Arsenal flexibility in terms of their build-up, specifically bypassing the opposing side's press, over the last 2 games since his return from injury, it's clear teams are intentionally targeting him to get into dangerous areas in the final third to create chances.